Millions of Americans are concerned about how painful the predicted recession will be and to what extent this impact will have on families. The Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, he recently stated that the Federal Reserve will continue to use their tools to reduce inflation, but the American people will feel pain during this process. And we're going to talk a lot more about the pain that Americans are going to experience during this process and what millions of Americans, well, maybe not millions of Americans, but what a lot of Americans can do to be able to survive this and actually thrive in the face of the pain that what many people are going to experience. You don't have to feel the pain. You don't have to deal with the pain. And we're going to talk about that later in this video. Inflation. Let's talk a little bit about inflation, a little bit about the upcoming recession that we will likely face, regardless of what the Biden administration wants to say. Inflation, which hurts large businesses, small businesses, entrepreneurs, middle-class families, employees, 1099 contractors, but it disproportionately hurts the poor and the lowest income earners. As quiet as it's kept. The spikes in the cost of everyday goods and services such as food, clothing, energy, it will cause immediate pain in the lowest income earners. Americans are experiencing the very highest inflation rate in a generation, and it's forcing many, those who are already living paycheck to paycheck, to cut back on personal spending. Now, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, listen up. I've got some news for you guys that I want to share with you in this video. If you want to break the cycle, get out of the paycheck to paycheck situation, and actually increase your earning capacity so that you can have the cash available, the extra cash flow to invest in your stockpile, further supporting your ability to prepare and to prep, and heck, maybe even take your family out on a vacation. You know, what would it be like, you know, just to one day, just take your family out on a week-long vacation at any old 5-star resort, luxury vacation, luxury resort, maybe in the Caribbean, I mean, heck, maybe in Florida for all I know, wherever you happen to want to go, it'd be nice to have the extra cash flow, residual income, and passive income to be able to do those things without having to worry about, whether or not your job is going to be able to pay enough for your expenses. It doesn't have to be that way, and I'm going to share some information with you guys that I think you're going to find very helpful. And I want to thank you guys for all the emails, all the thank you emails that I've been getting from you, and also I'm working on trying to get back with everyone who's asking me more and more questions about how to make money online, how to create passive income, how to create residual income. I'm getting that to you. I'm getting to all of you guys, so please be patient with me. Now, as inflation rises, so does the wave of folks who are struggling just to make ends meet, and some are running out of money, or if they have any credit worthiness means, financing necessities on their credit cards. So a lot of people burn through their cash and they're having to live off of the credit lines available on their Visa, their MasterCard, their American Express. Now, the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, he warned just last Friday that the central bank is committed to controlling inflation through aggressive interest rate hikes. And he added to the fact that the burdens of high inflation will fall the heaviest on those who are least able to bear them. So again, like I said, inflation, it hurts everybody, but it's always going to hurt the lowest income earners the most. And at an economic policy symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, he said that restoring price stability will take time, and it requires using some tools forcefully to bring demand and supply into better balance. While higher interest rates, slower growth, and the softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and to some businesses. And these are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation. And the Federal Reserve is not afraid to continue to unleash pain onto the Americans, typically the lower income Americans. In fact, I've actually seen maybe some of the wealthier population listing some of their luxury vehicles for sale And I'm not really sure why we're seeing this. We're seeing a shift in the new car market. We're seeing a shift in the used car market. But I'm seeing a lot of new luxury vehicles, not new, but I'm seeing a lot of 1, 2, maybe even 3-year-old luxury cars hitting the market for sale. And this may be some of the upper middle class, maybe even I won't say the uber rich, but the upper middle class may be preparing for the upcoming recession. And maybe they're letting go of some of these extra toys that they might have had. I've seen anything from Mercedes S-Class 550s for sale, AMG S63 Mercedes-Benz, and I'm talking about the coupe. So these are generally not bread and butter vehicles. I've seen Range Rover SVRs for sale. Many of these luxury SUVs and these luxury auto manufacturers require that you actually place an order for these vehicles. So to see some of these vehicles that were custom requests with anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 dealer markup on these luxury vehicles, to see them on Auto Trader and different outlets where you could sell luxury high-end automobiles for sale, it tells you that there's a major shift coming. Now, my fear and my concern is that manufacturers and suppliers, feeling the pain of increased costs, will continue to pass on those costs and more to consumers. I mean, they're still manufacturers, they're business owners, they're entrepreneurs whose main focus is on keeping a very healthy profit margin. And they'll pass the cost on, and then they're also going to tack on their additional percentages, their markup, to ensure that their profit margins remain healthy. Now, this will deal another blow of pain to employees, especially those who are underpaid and overworked. Now, this is basically corporate price gouging at its best. This is corporate price gouging at its finest. Just ask anybody who has had to put gas in their car in the last 6 months. And more than 4 million people have left their jobs each month in the United States so far. And according to new research, this record-breaking trend is not going to quit anytime soon. About 40% of workers are considering quitting their current jobs in the next 3 to 6 months. And this comes out from a very reputable survey source. I'm not going to let you guys know exactly who released this. I'm going to share that information and why I'm choosing not to share this information with you now in a future video. But when surveyed, they asked over 13,000 people across the globe, including 6,300 Americans between February and April of this year. And so this is a lot of people who have been surveyed before they decided to share this information with us. And this isn't just a passing trend or some pandemic-related change to the labor market. There's been a fundamental shift in workers' mentalities and their willingness to prioritize other things in their life beyond whatever job that they hold. And we're never going back to how things were in 2019. Such conversations about the Great Recession, they often focus on why people quit. Well, it's low pay. There are fewer opportunities for career advancement and career growth. I mean, how many people have tried to climb the corporate ladder and failed? There are these inflexible work schedules, but what we hear less often is what happens after people leave their jobs. Well, what happens is about 48% of people who quit their jobs to pursue new opportunities in different industries. So basically, they're looking at their circumstances at their current job, employees, workers, contractors at these different employer facilities. They're looking at their situation and saying, hey, it really sucks here. I want to try something new. And 48% of people who have decided to pursue new opportunities, they've left the industry that they were in. And a lot of people realize just how volatile or unsafe their industry was during the pandemic, especially those who were working on the front lines. Now, at the same time, companies are still struggling to attract and retain employees, which is a pattern that had undoubtedly caused a lot of headaches for HR departments throughout the United States. But it has also opened the door for job seekers to take advantage of new opportunities that might have been out of reach before the pandemic. More employers have opened up their their aperture to in order to meet the yawning talent gap that they're facing. And they're prioritizing skills over educational background. So no longer is the case where, oh, you got to have a college degree. There are tons of $100,000 per year annual salary or annual income jobs available without college degrees being required to qualify for these positions. I'm compiling this list. A lot of you guys have been asking me, hey, Ron, where can I go to find out what jobs pay over $100,000 a year without a college degree? And I'm putting together a very comprehensive list for you guys. So I appreciate you guys' emails asking for the list. I am adding your name to the list, whoever's emailing me, so that once the list is compiled, I can share it with you guys. But again, these companies are prioritizing skills over the educational background or previous job experience, which is creating even more opportunities across sectors for job seekers. Some industries, they're losing talent faster than others. And more than 60% of workers who quit their jobs in the consumer, retail, and finance, insurance fields, they either switched industries or quit the workplace. They quit their workforce entirely, compared to 54% of workers in healthcare and education who decided to make such a switch. Now, others, and this is where the real money is at, you guys. This is how people are redefining life for themselves. They're not letting the economy, they're not letting the Fed, they're not letting the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, or any other external factors control their lives. They're taking life by the horns and they're making their own choices. They're becoming their own bosses. Others are quitting to start their own business or to pursue non-traditional employment. Out of the people who quit without a new job on hand, close to 47% chose to return back to the workforce, but only 29% went back to a traditional full-time job. Now, here's the thing that they're not going to tell you about these reports and these findings is that most people who decide to quit and start a business, they don't have any experience doing that. And so what happens is it makes it look like it's very difficult, and it is difficult to start a business, but they make it seem like it's almost impossible. So why bother trying to start a small business? Because, well, most people fail. Well, the point is most people most people don't plan. And so without a plan, you're essentially planning to fail. And so what these stats don't tell you is, okay, how many people decided to create a side hustle that they were doing and running successfully hand in hand, side by side, while working their 9 to 5. And so if I'm working with you and I'm coaching you through creating your side hustle and building your online business or creating some type of supplemental income stream, building a passive income stream, building a residual income stream, then it's chances are we're building it alongside your reliable 9 to 5 job. And so if you get to a point where you're making 75% or more from your side hustle compared to the income that you generate from your 9 to 5 job, and you've been doing this for several months, and we could see like a path for growth projection to increase your income even further if you have more time, then your likelihood of being able to quit your 9 to 5 job and go full time, being your own boss, setting your own schedule, and turning your side hustle into a small business that you can rely on for you and your family, now your success rate is significantly higher in order to be able to pull that off. But like I said, the stats, they're not showing all the details and the background story behind the businesses that have failed. There are tons of businesses that are started each and every single day and each and every single year that go on to be very, very successful, lucrative, profitable businesses. Now, so the remaining 18% of people, they found either a new role with reduced hours through temporary gig or part-time work, or they decided to start their own business. So a lot of people, they've done different things and they have had, varying success rates. And it goes back to planning and execution and making sure that before you jump off the dock, there's a boat to catch you, right? And these people, they're not tolerating toxic bosses. They're not tolerating toxic cultures anymore. because they can leave and find other ways to make money. They can make money online. They can make money through side hustles, through online businesses. They can even land another job without having to, be in a negative situation. And there are more opportunities for work now than ever before. And people are waking up to this fact. People are waking up to the situation where, there's just more opportunity today. So, this is changing the game for employees, but it's also changing the game for employers. Now, more people are choosing to be their own boss than ever before. They want to be able to set their own schedules. Just the whole pandemic and being stuck at home allowed a lot of people, millions of Americans, to realize, hey, there's more to life than just killing myself every single day, going to work for a boss who doesn't necessarily care about me as a person. And people are tired of just having to work their fingers to the bone and never even spending any time with their families. Most people, most families have to work 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their head, and they rarely even see their kids except for maybe on the weekend. And most weekends they're just trying to catch up on some sleep so that they can get ready for Monday. Now, this has been the pandemic has really been an eye opener for a lot of people. Now, over the course of the pandemic, new business applications, they grew by more than 30%, with almost 5.5 million new applications in 2021 alone. And this is what the White House is releasing, what the White House has released during a recent press release. So, it's not just about escaping a toxic work environment. Such non-traditional business pursuits also fulfill people's growing desire for flexibility. When you have your own business, depending upon how you structure that business, depending upon the type of business that you're running, you could potentially have a very, very flexible schedule. Sorry about that. And there's a school bus nearby, so pardon the background noise. But yeah, so the freedom to work anywhere or choose your own hours, make your own schedule, take a vacation whenever you want to with your family, potentially even work from the beach, has become, one of the most sought after benefits during the pandemic. So, and so much so that people value flexibility as much as 10% more than a pay raise. So if you guys want more information on how to create a side hustle, get a small business started, and make a small business profitable so that you can make more money, have more free time, and more flexibility to spend with you and your family, hit me up in the comments down below. You guys know how to reach me. I hope you guys got value out of this video. If you made it this far, drop a like for the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.